I want to get from a paradigm of that as a leader, as a principal, I am the one responsible for figuring all of that out, determining what people need to learn and what the next steps are and what we need to improve, to empowering people by giving that learning model, to give them that focus, to understand processes for them to understand how they can do action research in their classrooms, and they begin to ask reflective questions. My first step is I might have to start off with teaching them how to reflect, teaching them how to wonder. So I may model for them constantly. I'm asking questions. So I need for the leaders on each campus to really be good at asking reflective questions of themselves and of everyone around them. With the goal is not that everyone would depend on them to come and ask the hard questions, but they would teach everybody on their campus how to self-reflect, ask really hard questions, wonder about everything that they're doing, and constantly think, okay, so then what would be the next step? How would I do that differently? How do I involve my students in this? What kind of behavior am I looking for with my students? How do I get them to self-reflect? How do I get them to be in charge and own their learning? So again, I may start off modeling, asking those questions, and a lot of times they'll be like, Eric, just tell me what the answer is to start off with. And I'm constantly giving them lots of questions back because ultimately I want them to be reflecting. So I'm not going to be there all the time. I'm not going to be in their classrooms all the time. So I've got to find out ways through the learning opportunities that they have, through the reflection they have, through the feedback loops that they develop in their classrooms, through the collaboration that they have as teams, that they begin learning together. And so many times we just say, let's get the folks together and have them collaborate. I need to be able to help them have the skills that they need to collaborate well, the tools that they need to improve things together. So many changes that I think about as far as moving from a paradigm where you have people that are in charge and they're telling people what to do, all the way to everyone across the system are truly owning their learning. They understand that they're a vital role in coming up with improvements and seeking their own learning, versus that they sit and I'm supposed to receive some feedback. I think principal's supposed to come and tell me if I'm doing well or not. Someone's supposed to come by. I wish they would do that more. I wished I had more learning opportunities. I wish I had more praise and recognition. It's a passive sitting and waiting. And as everyone in the system is that way, if we're in that paradigm where I'm supposed to wait until I get someone to come by, an expert to come by and tell me what I'm doing right and wrong, that goes throughout the whole system. So then I would be that way. The principals are going to behave that way. The teachers will be waiting passively to receive, and the students will also fall into that very same thing, because that's the processes and systems we've set up. So a huge change is getting to the point where everyone understands it's about a shared vision. It's about people truly owning their own learning, about owning that feedback, developing that, seeking that, discovering those things together. If I want to get praise and recognition, if that's so important that people talk about that, then I want a support system. I want a collaborative team where I am recognizing others and we're celebrating together and we're doing PDSAs and we're getting results, and that gives me more satisfaction as I'm able to experience that. And so instead of sitting and waiting for people to do that, I'm determining what my goals are. I'm determining what my system looks like. I'm determining what those improvement efforts are, and I'm pursuing it. I'm seeking answers to my reflective questions. I'm wondering all the time, and as I'm wondering and I'm wanting to find answers to those wonderings and that's reflection, then I'm going to be active in my pursuit of finding the answers. And I have the tools that I need to find those. As I'm doing that, I'm making a difference. So my classroom looks totally different, and the campus looks completely different. And if I can just tell a story that happened recently, I was visiting with some fifth grade teachers at one of our elementary schools, and they were talking about their trying to get to where their students were truly owning the learning and the tools that they were using to do that, and how excited they were to see how excited the students were. Well, we had teachers from the district coming and visiting that team and coming to see what they were doing. So as they were asking questions, so the teachers were asking other teachers and trying to learn from them and reflecting with them. They asked them questions. Several of their students were standing there, fifth grade students were standing there. So they asked a question, and one of the students said, "I got this." So to me, it goes to, they owned it. They didn't need the teacher to answer the question. They needed the teacher to explain if what they're doing was right or wrong. They just took this teacher, took them into their classroom, and started showing them the things that they were learning, the systems that they had helped the teacher to set up together. So as far as what I see when I see changes from a paradigm of a teacher is up front or a principal is up front and just delivering information, to truly empowering students to where they've got this. And then we're there to support. We're there to help them in their pursuit of learning.